you need to be committed. You can't change the world by just adding likes to Facebook. You have to take action. People can join again because they have the tools, they have the opportunity, and we have seen that this is possible to do. The collective action is much more possible than it was years ago. There's so many people out there in different contexts of the world, but we share these same values. We see that, we envision that things can be done. Democracies can be changed. Corruption can be twisted, and we can do this together, not alone. Well, hello, my name is Felipe Heusser. I'm the director and founder of Ciudadano Inteligente. We are an NGO that started 3 to 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago. At that time, I was based in London, and basically we were in the context of witnessing what was happening during the Obama campaign, and several new groups, very early groups, that were rising in the use of technology into the political sphere. I've had experience several years working in the NGO sector, the social sector, and this was the first time I had the chance to actually explore the use of technology as a tool for social change. And Ciudadano Inteligente was basically a tool to promote transparency and fight corruption in Latin America through the use of web technology. In the context of a Latin America that didn't have freedom of information laws in place, in a context where access to technology was not that big, still we saw there was a big chance, there was a big opportunity in the use of technology to promote transparency and fight corruption in a way that was different from the different efforts that we have already witnessed in the past in Latin America. And thankfully, over the years, we have had great success. We have had nearly 30 to 14 different websites in place, applications. We are deploying apps to different countries in Latin America. We started in Chile, but now we're working with some apps in Argentina, in Peru, and we have communities of civic actors that are now using technology for social change, not only in transparency sphere, but also others in 9 countries in Latin America, through a network that we created called Developing Latin America, Desarrollando América Latina. And yeah, so we're very happy with our different websites. Some of them have reached great success, some of them big failures, but overall we have learned, and we continue to work hard in trying to foster transparency and citizen participation through web technology. Actually, perhaps my favorite one is an application that we call the Inspector of Interest, Inspector de Intereses, org, and .cl as well. Basically, it's an app that tracks the potential conflicts of interest within Congress, looking at public data from different sources of public agencies, like the Tax and Revenue Service, the Public Register, and so on. Basically, we were able to map the areas of interest, or the companies or the assets that members of Congress had on different areas. And because we also had a previous website that did accountability on Congress with information on voting records, bills, so on, that we were able to contrast both information on interests with information in terms of Congress activity. So we were able to tell a story of if there is a potential correlation or association between the work a member of Congress does because of being elected, because of being a member of Congress, and his areas of interest. Freedom of Information law actually required them to proactively disclose some of this information, right? So they actually did. Every once in a year, they sort of published something which was very crappy information about their assets and interests. But because we had access to different data sources, open data, and because we had the right technology to actually contrast this information and compare it with other sources of information as well, we were able to actually tell that more than 40% of the members of Congress are actually not disclosing their area of interest. And which is even worse, many of them were actually voting on issues where they had a very big conflict of interest. So because, again, of access data, because of web technology, and because of citizens that were sort of engaged with the idea to track this down, we were able to put up this website that was a big hit in terms of web traffic, in terms of media outlets picking up this information to build some stories, and overall exercises accountability on members of Congress that before this kind of websites were available, sort of had a free pass to do whatever they wanted, even if that was compromising interests of a few against the interests of the many who actually elected them. So I think that was the sort of one of the big stories. And actually, sorry, the overall impact by the end, it's not just accountability. Actually, the amount of information that they were disclosing after this application increased from 20% to about 40% of so basically now they were publishing much more information about the assets they had. They were not missing things now because they knew there were a group of citizens and people that could actually take a look at what they were doing. And so there was now a citizen eye on Congress that was not available before. And I think that made a big change in terms of the behavior of congressmen. It is yet to be seen what is going to happen in terms of how citizens can get involved in more thick things like the policy process and being part of the way the legislation is being built and so on. But that is yet to be seen, and we're working on it. But right now, I think it was a big success to actually make a difference. And now, because of technology and access to data, it's not you can't just, not do your job and have conflict of interest in Congress. Now someone's going to know. And that is because of this app that we launched. So I think that was a big success. We have created an organization that is now increasingly decentralized, increasingly collaborative, and with more and more people and organizations that are joining in. I want to see a community, actually, that works together. Not a single organization, but a group of organizations that follow sort of the same dreams and master the same technologies and tricks to actually allow citizens to participate. I think that web technology, the organizations like Ciudadano Inteligente, like many others, are organizations that are trying to try to sort of change the paradigm of power from the few to the many and allow them to participate at different levels of the policy process. Accountability is changing. It's not an exercise that you sort of do every 4 years when election comes, and you use your vote to exercise accountability on an elected official. Now, during the time of being elected, the time of when you exercise power, there's accountability in the process, right? So during the 4 years, you can't just say, bye-bye citizens, see you in the next election. You basically will get the push of citizens who will be in touch during the time you exercise your power. So I think that is changing. The role of citizens is changing. We have much more opportunities to participate. And I envision a world where organizations like us, NGOs, get the chance to be part of this process. I have different projects right now, but all of them are basically driving towards the same direction, which is change the logic of power from the few to the many and make democracies work. Right? Democracies, again, are tied to the will of the many. And again, technology can be a very big ally to make this done and to secure the democracy works. Why more people should get involved? Well, because it's possible. I think it's not. Probably some years ago, it was much more difficult to take action and to sort of confront some of these big systems that you often kind of see and feel sort of overwhelmed, and actually it's very difficult to achieve change. I think that through web technology we have learned that actually we can collaborate and we can aggregate different tiny pieces of individual action, make collective action, and that is much more stronger to achieve a given social goal, a given political goal. You can overcome big corruption scandals. You can fight bills that are being passed irresponsibly and against the will of the many. We just had, and we saw last year in the States, all the PIPA and SOPA thing. Probably a couple of years ago, just one person individually standing to send a letter to the editor of the New York Times would have been, the farthest you could get. Right now, you can just send the call, and many people can join, and you can exercise collective action. Um, so I think that people can join again because they have the tools, they have the opportunity, and we have witnessed, we have seen that this is possible to do. The collective action is much more possible than it was years ago. And whatever your mission is, whatever your interest is, your social interest is, if it's going to be the environment, it's going to be democracy, it's going to be poverty, right now you have the tools for social change. You can achieve this. Of course, we don't have to be naive, and these are again just tools. These are methods. These are ways to collaborate with people. There are many other ways, and actually you need to study a lot. You need to think about things. You need to think about the social problems you want to solve. You need to be committed. You can't change the world by just adding likes to Facebook. You had to take action. And again, today we have the tools. We can communicate to more people. We can engage with more people. And the possibilities of collection, our collection power, collective action are much, much stronger than they were years ago. So I think we can give it a go. And I am, together with many, many people in the same world, which is funny, by the way. Right now we're speaking, you're in the States, I'm in Chile, and it's so easy to communicate. There's so many people out there in different contexts of the world, but we share these same values. We see that, we envision that things can be done. Democracies can be changed. Corruption can be twisted, and we can do this together, not alone. That's why we see too many organizations, NGOs rising. We see movements taking place. Big change. It's big time. So why not join?